Hey y'all, it's Lynn Howard. Welcome back. So it occurred to me recently that I never did the Authortube newbie tag, and I started this quite a bit ago. But you know, better late than never, right? I'll put the questions in the bottom so that if you guys ever want to do this yourselves, then you've got them listed right in front of you. So thanks to Alexa Dunn for posting this video and reminding me that I've been slacking. Question 1, how did I find out about Authortube? I don't know. I've been writing for a long time and YouTube's been around for a long time, so just like everybody else, I kind of wanted somebody to relate to, find out if everybody else had the same, pains and grievances that I did as a writer. So I would type in certain things and pull them up. I love days in the life, those kind of vlogs of other authors, so I can see people suffering as much as I do. So yeah, just by Googling, or not Googling, but typing things into YouTube, and Authortube popped up and I've been hooked ever since. What genres do I write? I write paranormal romance. I do have one contemporary romance out there, but I adore paranormal romance. That's what I read, that's what I write. I do stray sometimes to bodyguard romance, things like that, but I just love all things that go bump in the night. I even watch paranormal, supernatural, horror type movies. I just prefer that. What is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category? I prefer third person past tense. I have written in the past first person past tense, and I actually think my new book might be first person, but I prefer to read third person past tense, and I prefer to write third person past tense. I kind of feel like I'm telling the story as they're telling it to me, instead of writing first person like I'm doing it. So it's almost like the characters are dictating and I'm just writing it out as they're telling me. So of course, if someone's telling me, I'm going to say she, not I. My category would be adult fiction. I do not write for young adult. I do not write for children. My books have sex, lots of violence, and that's obviously not for kids. Am I a plotter, a pantser, or a plantser? I'm going to say a plantser because I do have plot points. I do know A, B, and C, but the rest of it is it's by the seam of my pants. I sit down to write. I know that I want this thing to definitely happen and I want this thing to definitely happen, but for the most part I'm writing as the characters are telling me what's going on. So yeah, I'd say I'm a plantser. Am I self-published, published, or to be published? I am an indie. I'm a self-publisher. This is something that I have chosen. I have been traditionally published in the past. I didn't really like it. Again, I'm a control freak, so I'm a self-published author by choice. The next question doesn't really refer to me. What house agent or dream agent or publishing house? I don't have either of those, and I don't really have a dream one. I guess if I had to really this is what I want, maybe Penguin, Simon & Schuster, but I don't really have that dream house. I kind of like to have full control over every aspect of my career. What Authortube videos can you come to expect from my channel? Writing. No, I'm just kidding. It's kind of a hodgepodge. There's going to be writing how-tos. There's going to be what not to do. I like to do day-in-the-life vlogs so that you can walk with me through an author life because I like watching those myself, so I figured there's others of you out there who want to see what it's like behind the scenes for people like me. You'll also see things related like my favorite genres, my favorite tropes, my least favorite tropes, things like that. So it's going to be all writing related, not specifically all how-tos though, because I want to engage you guys and I want you to engage me. So if there's ever something you specifically want me to address, feel free to let me know in the comments. When did I start writing? I don't know. I know that I kind of started when I first started. I actually learned to read before kindergarten. My older brother read, I wanted to learn to read. So I actually learned to read before kindergarten. So I kind of had to slow down and wait for everybody else to catch up. Obviously not big words, but I was reading small books by kindergarten. I was always dabbling with writing as a kid. I always loved to write. I loved when we had the book reports. Loved writing book reports back then. I know that's weird, but I loved it. Truly professionally, I didn't start writing until I think it was 2009 or 10. But yeah, even back in middle school, my girlfriend and I used to write short stories. We had a notebook that we plastered all these, New Kids on the Block and all this stuff on the front of the notebook. And I would write some, and then halfway through, going through the hallways, I'd pass her the notebook, and then she'd write some of the story. And they were almost always revolved around New Kids on the Block or these character band, whatever it was from Disney Channel called The Party. So they were always the heroes and we were always the, you know, the damsels. So, and I swear I said suddenly and all of a sudden every other paragraph. But I would say professionally I started writing, and I think it was 2010 or 2011. What was the first story I ever wrote? Does rewriting the end of Charlotte's Web count? Because I didn't like that Charlotte died as much as I hate spiders, and I changed the ending and Charlotte didn't die and she lived ever and ever and ever and ever. So I granted a spider with immortality, and I'm arachnophobic, go figure. My first professional story is no longer available because it was awful. I only let one person look through it. I didn't have it edited. I didn't send it through beta readers. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Yeah, that one's no longer in print. And then I do have another pen name that I go by, but I don't discuss it on this channel. That one was published in 2010 or 11. But if we go by this pen name, you can go back and find Zach and Lakin. I'm sorry, it was Lakin and Zach from the Immortally Yours series. And then there's Soul Surrendered. And those were published, I think, in 2013. I actually don't remember. I should have probably had all these answers in front of me. But yeah, I was writing, my first professional stories were in the early 2010s. What authors have inspired my writing? I don't know that they've inspired my writing as much as inspired me. I can tell you that starting in 5th grade, I was a Stephen King addict. Yes, I was reading Stephen King in 5th grade. I've always been odd. Never tried to claim not to be. But in 7th grade, I found Anne Rice, and that's when my love of paranormal and my love of vampires started. She definitely inspired my love of the genre. As far as my writing, I don't know. I read so many different authors, you know, Diane Duvall, Charlene Harris, Heather Graham. There's so many authors that I do read, and a lot of indie authors too. There's Genevieve Scholl, there is T.S. Joyce, but I wouldn't say any of these authors inspired my writing, but more inspired me and my creativity and the genre. I love that genre. Do I schedule my writing sessions, or do I write when I can? I am a full-time author. I do not work because I am disabled, so I can't actually drive to a job. I generally have my sessions scheduled. I sit down at my desk in my cave at 10 a.m. However, since the passing of my Shiloh girl, I've been kind of at a standstill, and I don't believe in writer's block, but I do believe that sometimes our emotions keep us from moving forward. I do have a lot of things going on in my head as far as creativity, you know, storylines and plot lines, but I haven't been able to get it out lately because of what has been going on. But generally, I do schedule my writing sessions, and then once that one scheduled piece has gone through, then I just write whenever it comes. If I have to get up and do laundry and an idea hits me, I sit back down and I write. I've been known to come in here at 9, 10 o'clock at night because something hit me and I needed to sit down. But I'm a firm believer, if you set a time, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night, 10 minutes when the kids are napping, that it will trigger something in your brain that knows, okay, we're sitting down, it's this time, it's time to work, and it helps get past that block. Do I write on a laptop, a typewriter, by hand, or blend? I work on a laptop. I've actually tried to have a full computer with the keyboard. It doesn't work for me. So I have a laptop. for some reason, I have to have it at a certain level. I have to have my hands at my keyboard. You can't see it, I'm down here, but I have to have them at a certain level because of my wrists. I can't write by hand because my handwriting is disgustingly sloppy. And because it's been so long since I've been out of school, believe it or not, it's been over 20 years since I've been out of school, my hand cramps up. I can't write by hand anymore. Even like writing notes, I gotta take a break, shake my hand out. So I write on a laptop. That's how I work the fastest. What am I looking most forward to as part of Authortube? Meeting more authors. I love meeting authors. I love meeting, and readers. I love getting to know people. I love getting to know their stories and what has inspired them. Or, you know, some readers have told me, hey, you need to check out this author. Thank you. Because just because I'm a writer doesn't mean I don't love to read. I am an avid reader. I love to read. So if you have suggestions, put them in the comments. I love to read. I don't keep all my books. I've actually, looking at my bookshelf like you guys can see it, I have actually donated over 900 books through the years. Some I had never read. A local bookstore went out of business before we moved out of St. Louis, and it was like pennies on the dollar, and I cleaned them out. Half of them wasn't even my genre, so I never read it, and I just donated to my local library. So, and now I read ebooks. So my phone which is where the Kindle app is loaded. So if you have some great authors that you absolutely love, make sure you send me their name. Let me check them out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sorry it's long after I've started AuthorTube, but I just kind of came across this and I thought it was a really great idea. So if you've been thinking about starting your own AuthorTube channel, I suggest maybe starting with this. Introduce yourself to everyone. Let us get to know you a little bit better. In the meantime, Shift in Priority is still scheduled for release on September 25th. It is currently available for pre-order, and I'll put it down below in the links. See you next time. Bye.